here from Ponder and Ply. Yet again, it's been an absolute age since I last spoke to you all. I did a little update back in October 2020 when I was halfway through my Europe travels, and now I am settled in Germany, have been since just before Christmas. It is now mid-March, I think it's February 13th today. You'll be seeing this a couple of days later when I've got around to editing it. I hope everybody is well. I wanted to check in. I've done a hell of a lot of knitting since I have been back. I lost my mojo a little bit towards the end of our trip and didn't knit for weeks, which is unheard of for me, but I am back and I am knitting like crazy. So I've got quite a few FOs. I've got some whips and I've got some Stashquisitions. Wow. I don't really get out and talk to people much at the moment, and when I am talking to people it's not in English, so I am a little bit out of practice and I might be tripping over my words. But yeah, let's get started. So let's talk about what I'm wearing. This is one of my new FOs. It's something that knitted up really quickly. So if I stand up and show you, it hasn't been blocked yet. And I have still got ends hanging out in different places. I don't know. So I've put some cushions on my chair so that I'm the right height. This is the sweater from Espace Tricot, which is a knit shop in Canada, and they do loads of free patterns. Eventually I want to try their yarn, but obviously Canada's a bit far and shipping will cost a fortune, so this was actually one of my cheapest jumpers I've ever made. So I picked up this yarn in a local supermarket here at Kaufland. It's just fingering weight, really fluffy. I'm pretty sure it's entirely acrylic. You know, I'm not a yarn snob. Where I can, I like to buy something more environmentally friendly, but that's just not within my budget all of the time. And as you'll see in a little bit, I've got quite a lot of indie dyed yarn that I've picked up, so you have to balance it all out. It's meant to be made with 2 strands of mohair, but I used 1 strand of this fluffy fingering weight in this really beautiful blue colour. I'm really enjoying this colour at the moment. I just realised you can kind of see my bra through this. Okay, well, anyway, it's got these little bracelet length, I guess bishop sleeves. It's got a roll neck with a I-cord binding. All of the edges are I-cord, there's no ribbing. The only thing I'm finding is that the bottom is curling up a little bit. But like I said, I haven't blocked it yet, and I actually don't mind. It kind of goes with the lounginess of the jumper. It's unbelievably comfortable. If I put it forward, it slips back a little bit, but I quite like the lower neck. I haven't really got very many jumpers like this. I think I'm gonna live in this. I've worn it a fair amount already, and I only finished it maybe a week or so ago. I've got hair stuck to me. With a pair of jeans, with a pair of leggings. I mean, I'm living in leggings at the moment. I think everybody is, given the situation. We are on lockdown here in Germany, so I'm staying with Uli's parents. They're nice enough to let us live here rent-free for a while the world hopefully finds some normality. I'm job hunting at the moment, which is lots of fun, and reality is hitting me smack bang in the face. But there you go. Oh, and you may notice I am ginge again. The blonde is gone. It was only meant to be here for a short while and I ended up having it for nearly a year. But I am feeling myself again with the ginge. I don't think I'm going to give this up again, or at least not anytime soon. Just feel like me. So anyway, yep, this is one of my first FOs, but I have another 2 for you. Did you just hear my back click? My back just clicked. Oh, and I keep on looking at myself, and I should be looking at the camera. I'm way out of practice. You're going to have to bear with me. So, oh, and I've gone and put my hair in a ponytail, and the next thing I want to show you goes on my head. I released a pattern. My first FO of 2021 was this hat right here. It kind of looks a little bit like an uncircumcised penis when I do this. A very, very uncircumcised penis. Who says penis? I don't even say penis. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, this is my Anya hat. It is based on a hat I saw years ago. I was walking around in Angel, which is a place in London, North London, and there's some beautiful vintage shops. And I saw this hat. The brim was at least half the size it is on this. It was more like this kind of shape. But it was a real fur brim and then a suede hat. It wasn't knitted, but I thought it was beautiful. Now, I don't wear real fur, so that already eliminated the hat for me, but more than that, it was ridiculously expensive. So I have dreamt of this beautiful vintage hat for years and always wanted to make a pattern and never got around to it. I've actually had this yarn for donkeys, I don't know, absolute years. Well, not long after I think I bought it, and then I never got around to making it. Anyway, the base of the hat is Aran weight. I used Cascade, I think 220 superwash. It has these little faux seams. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, that meet in a cross in the middle. Just a little slip stitch technique. You make the base of that hat first. It fits really snugly, and then you pick up and cast on this massive, big, dramatic fur brim. I'll see if I can get it on over my ponytail, but obviously it's not meant to be worn like this. It's going to stick up at the back. But it basically looks like one of those beautiful fur, yeah, it doesn't look quite right with the ponytail, but beautiful fur headbands at the front. I don't know if you can see, but with my ponytail it's going to stick out. But then you've got the hat at the back. I'll stick a picture in so that you can see, or you can check out my Instagram or Ravelry. But it's so warm, and it's snowing here in Germany. It's very deep snow. The other day it was -18 Celsius. I don't think I've ever experienced that in my life. We don't get winters like that in London. It's sort of meh all the time. Anyway, this is now out. It's on my Ravelry should you be interested, but it was my first FO of 2021. And it feels so nice to get a pattern out the door. So there's that. And lastly, I believe this is the only other thing I finished this year. My beautiful, I'm so proud of this. It's also got all of my hair stuck to it, I'm sorry. Is da-da-da-da. This is my Vinterfell. I'm going to say, I can't pronounce it. It's in Norwegian. Vinterfell is how I'm going to guess it's pronounced. It is by Skein Knits. Her patterns are gorgeous. I've had my eye on them forever. And as you may remember if you watched my last episode back in October, which mainly focused on the yarn I picked up in Europe, this is the yarn that I picked up from Norway. It's the Raumer. Again, not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's the Raumer Finnel Garn, which is a fingering weight rustic wool. It's beautiful, and I loved the original by the designer so much that I decided to make exactly the same jumper. So that's my version. I made a size medium. As you may know if you've been following me for a while, I don't really do very much colour work. I generally don't, although it's beautiful, don't find it to be my style. But I was obsessed with this jumper when I saw it, and I really wanted a keepsake from my trip. It is one of the warmest jumpers I own. It fits so beautifully. It's such a well-written pattern, and I really enjoyed it. Once I started, I couldn't put it down, and I finished it quite quickly. So I started it around Christmas time and had it in early January. So yeah, that's another one of my FOs. I 100% recommend this pattern, actually. It's so beautiful. So that's that. Okay, next let's talk about my current whips. I'm trying to go for this year to have 2 projects on the needle at any one time, one being one of my designs and one being someone else's designs. I'm never going to stop knitting other people's designs, despite my backlog of designs is literally like 100 items long. I enjoy it too much. I don't want to only focus on designing. I love making other people's patterns and learning, and there's so many gorgeous designs out there that I'm never gonna make I won't design myself because they already exist. So I have one of my new designs to show you that's not quite finished, that's a whip, and another one that I'm working on that's more that doesn't require as much concentration. So we'll start with mine. I can talk about the yarn first because the yarn for each of them are from the same place. So for my design, I've got hair. So at the moment in Germany, in Uli's parents' house, they have 4 cats and a dog, and then we have a dog. Oh yeah, we have a dog. If you haven't seen my Instagram, we found a dog in Bulgaria and we adopted her. The story's a lot longer than that. I can go into it later or another time, but we found this tiny underweight puppy that needed some serious love, and we took her to a vet, got her sorted, and we have adopted her. And now she's much, much bigger, much, much naughtier, and I have never loved something more in my whole life. So anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, everything I have is covered in hair because there are animals everywhere, and then I molt hair just like the animals. So this is from Ponderosa. This, oh, it's blowing out a little bit. It's much darker than it looks. It's not... That looks a lot brighter. I mean, it's not bright, but it's not as bright as it looks in the picture. It's a much more... It's a beautiful tonal red. Let's see, what colour is she called this? It's called Zora. It is 80% merino, 20% polyamide, 100 grams. It's fingering weight yarn. And this is what I'm making my design in. And then from the same dyer, Ponderosa, she's a German dyer. I thought whilst in Germany I'll start sampling a few different dyers. Not that I should be, I've got a huge stash and I'm not working at the moment, but I just can't help myself. So this is the other one, which I'm making not my design in, which I'll talk about in a minute. This is again fingering weight, 80% merino, 20% polyamide. And it is called Herbstblüte, which I think is autumn leaves or autumn petals, autumn leaves. I'm going to say autumn leaves. I can speak German a little bit, not really. Anyway, this knits up so beautifully, I can't wait to show you. So, chuck those on the floor. Let's talk about my design first. It's going to be really hard to show you what it actually looks like on here, but this is what I've got so far. Okay, it just kind of looks like a long skinny tube. By the time I've edited this, I will have posted a picture of where I'm up to. So if I can just show you, it's got a little turtleneck. It's very, lots and lots of negative ease. It's very fitted, and it's lots of waist shaping. It's going to cling to my body. I'll show you in the picture. But if I come up close, it's a ribbing pattern, as you can see. So this is going to be called my Scarlet Sweater. And if you have paid any attention, we called our camper van the Scarlet Galactica. Because it looked like a spaceship and it's red. And so this is Scarlet, and it's my ode to my camper van that we lived in for months. She has white racing stripes down the front of her red body, and this ribbing is actually in the pattern of the racing stripes on the car. That's where that idea came from. The shape of the design is very late 60s. There are lots of vintage inspiration of that, but it's meant to be slightly longer, very fitted. It's going to have 3/4 length sleeves. So the body is done, the neck is done with a little mock turtleneck, but the sleeves still need to be worked, and I need to do the maths for it, and I've been putting it off for ages. Because I'm lazy. No, because sometimes it's just, my brain needs to be in the exact right mood in order to process that. I also think that I've done the armhole the tiniest bit too deep, but we'll see. As with all of my patterns, quite often the sample has had a few changes made that aren't reflected in the sample but are in the final pattern, just to make that fit extra nice. As you may know if you've made any of my other patterns, my focus is all on fit. I want something that just hugs you and complements your body, like whatever shape you are, just hugs you in all the right places. So that's my new design. I can't tell you when it will be, when there'll be a testing call. I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see. So let's drop that down there. It's hairy anyway. And then I'm going to reach forward and get... Okay, you ready for this? Da, 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 da. Look at that. Look at that yarn. Oh my goodness. Isn't it delicious? I love this. So I started this 2 nights ago. I've got a fair amount done considering it's fingering weight. Have you noticed everything I'm making is fingering weight? Well, apart from my hat. But that I've just shown you... This is fingering weight, the Scandinavian jumper is, not Scandinavian, the Norwegian jumper is fingering weight, my design is fingering weight, this is fingering weight. I think I need a chunky project because it will be done so much quicker, but this has grown really fast. So this beautiful 2B sweater, like surprise, surprise, I'm making another sweater, is a cozy classic raglan light. So it's Jessie May, you probably already know that. But it's her light version of her cozy classic raglan. So it's fingering weight, you don't hold mohair or anything. I do really like the regular one, the thicker one. I think it's DK weight, but it's actually fingering held with mohair. But I really like light jumpers under things. Like I just find it comfy. I also find fingering weight jumpers, despite the fact that they take so much longer, are 1, really economic with yarn because you get so much in one skein, and 2, I find them they're just way more flattering on my body shape. The thicker the yarn is, the more it looks boxy on me. It kind of adds bulk, which I don't think they suit me the same way unless they're particularly tailored. There's actually a pattern I just bought last night that's just been released again by Skein Knits, the Norwegian jumper that I made, called the Librarian, I think, and that's Aran weight, and it has this beautiful crisscross design, texture design on it, and that looks really fitted and cropped, and something like that in Aran weight is super flattering. But once we start getting into the realms of chunky, it has to be a very good pattern. It has to be a very good pattern for me to be happy with the way that it fits. Anyway, do you feel the same way? Is this just me? I know there's lots of people that won't even work with fingering weight because it's so small and it takes so much longer to make, but I will knit with lace. I'm planning to make my own lace jumper at some point, like a really nice fitted, because I just think it's beautiful. And there's all this pressure to rush and churn out and get as many projects done as possible, but the finer the yarn, I just feel like it looks so beautiful. And I think it's worth the extra time, and I'd rather have less jumpers and go through less projects and have things that I'm actually going to wear and be happy with than churn out all of these projects. Anyway, each to their own. Some people love that, but this, for me, I love a fingering weight jumper. So, yep. This one might have to go on hold. I think I'm going to get to the armhole division, the split for the armholes, and then I'm going to put it on hold because I actually have a test knit, and as I said, I'm trying to do one of my designs and someone else's design at the same time. I don't want more than 2 whips on the needles because I just don't get anywhere, and I just one of them ends up being neglected, so I'm trying to stick to that. That is a beautiful segue into Stashquisitions. Why do I find that so hard to say? Stashquisitions. It makes me feel like I have a lisp. Maybe I have a lisp. No, I don't think I have a lisp. Anyway. Plop. So, my beautiful friend Chelsea of Knitting Tipsy has a new design called Palm Your Knits, which is a very clever pun, in case you hadn't realised. Calm your tits, palm your knits. I'm a big fan. Anyway, it's a beautiful beachy design. Again, fingering weight. It's a off the shoulder, positive ease, cropped t-shirt pattern, and I need this in my life. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to make it. And being good friends, I got straight on that testing list. So I had originally ordered yarn from Love Crafts for this. And Love Crafts have a German website, so I thought they must have a facility or a warehouse here in Germany. Didn't think anything of it. They had no warning about how long it might take to get here. There was no mention of anything. I ordered my yarn 3 weeks before testing started. Testing already started a week ago, so that's 4 weeks. No sign of my yarn. And when I messaged them, they said, oh, give it 28 working days That's like until the end of March or something ridiculous before you tell us again that it hasn't arrived. There are delays. Not helpful, Lovecrafts. I love them and I order from them all the time at home, and I even recommended that my mum start using them because she's just started knitting jumpers thanks to me, but more on that later. And it never showed up, so I ordered a dark grey and a medium grey, and I was going to do a medium grey contrast. It's a contrast rib, and then the dark grey for the body, and it's something that my wardrobe needs. You know I love making stuff in colours. I love bright colours, but I just wanted something a bit plainer that I can just chuck on, comfy, you know. Quarantine knitting or stuff that you're making to wear in quarantine is very different to what you would make in if we were actually allowed out into the outside world. Like, I've forgotten what my fashion is. Like, all of my clothes are in storage, bar the stuff I bought on this trip. I've actually had to order a couple of pairs of leggings whilst here because I just don't have anything, and I miss dressing up and my dresses and my skirts, and it's not fun looking dowdy all the time, but it's comfortable, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, it never showed up. I'm still waiting on it. I couldn't wait any longer, so I was like, oh, whilst in Germany, I might as well order from another German designer. I have more plans to order from others as well. There's a few more I want to try before I go home. So I got this. I'm going to try and read her name first. Strakeldi Struck. I'm guessing that's some kind of play on stricken, which is to knit. That's what I'm going to go with. But I can't tell you exactly what the play is. I'm sure it's very clever, and there's a really cute picture of a cat on the label. So anyway, the body of the jumper is going to be made in this. Look at this beauty. Isn't that the most gorgeous dusky tonal pink you've ever seen? I think this is just yummy. So this is called Dream Big. It's merino sock 4-ply, 75% merino superwash, 25% nylon. Again, like I said, fingering weight. And then I'm going to, this has already been bold, you're not going to see the skein. I did this last night. Da-da-da-da. I don't know why I keep making that sound today. Can you see? How beautiful is this? So this green, ooh, where's the tag? 1 second. This green is called Cave Lights. As you can see, it's beautiful. It's mostly dark. It's like a really dark green, a medium green, a lime green, and flecks of orange and a little bit of white. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. So that's going to be my contrast, and that's going to be my main body. Casey, the Skeiniac, has already asked me to do a sexy watermelon photo shoot, so keep your eyes peeled for that once I get started. But yeah, this yarn is another German yarn, and I am so excited to be trying it. I think I'm going to cast this on Monday once I've got to the sleeve separation on my Jessie May jumper, work on this, finish this, and then carry on with my Jessie May jumper. But we'll see. I'll probably keep picking it up because it's been such a fun, addictive knit so far. Super excited about this. It's such, I can already see, because a lot of the testers have started and got a fair way through it already. It's such a gorgeous pattern. I think I'm going to wear it all the time in that kind of sexy off the shoulder. So keep your eyes out for that. Chuck those down on the floor again. Okay, the last Stashquisition that I want to talk about is not actually yarn. I finally got Interchangeable Needles. Yes, I did. Beautiful Chiagu needles. So Uli got this as my Christmas present for me this year. I had been explaining how my life would be so much easier instead of ordering needles all the time and having 100 pairs of the same size, to just get some needles. And I said I was going to buy some, but then he ordered them when I said it. I was like, Merry Christmas. So this is my Christmas present. I have used them so much. Why have I never done this before? I feel like I wasn't a real knitter until I got these. Yes, they are pricey, but they are 100% worth the money that was paid for them. I can't believe what I did without them. Like, they're so perfect. I can't say, like, they don't catch. I've had one, years ago, I had one pair of interchangeable needles, but I think the needles were plastic and they used to catch all the time and snag or undo whilst I was knitting, and it put me off. But these are like seamless. They're more seamless than the ones that are permanently attached that I've been using. I am so impressed. Also, in the grand scheme of things, I probably wasted way more money than what was spent on this, buying spare sets of the same needles over and over again. Like 6-8 quid here and there really does add up to way more than this eventually over the years. So this has been a big game changer for me. I feel like a real knitter right now. Stupid. Well, do you know what, anyone that has started knitting is a real knitter, and you don't need any kind of materials like this to be a real knitter, but this has been a real game changer, and I can vouch for these needles. If you're thinking about an interchangeable set, for me these have been perfect, and I don't think I'd go anywhere else. Brilliant. Okay, well, I guess if you just wanted to see the knitting content, it's kind of done. I just wanted to have a little chat about things that I've got coming up. So I've got some collaborations planned this year, which I'm really excited about. So there are 3. Yep, you heard me. My imposter syndrome can hardly believe it, but I am partnering with 3 different dyers this year. I've got it all planned out and booked in. I have one dyer that has yarn on its way to me now for a new design, a very sexy design, a very out there design that I hope you guys are gonna love. I can't wait to get started. That will be my next one to work on after Scarlet. And that's on its way to me now, and it's a beautiful colour, and I can't wait for you to see it. And then I will reveal who these designers are nearer the time. There'll be some little sneak peeks and we'll have a see. There are 2 other dyers that are actually dyeing colourways for me. I'm not going to cry, but this is like a dream come true. I've had 2 designers that will be dyeing up yarn. I've sent them some colour palettes, and they're going to work their beautiful colour magic, because that is not my skill. That is not my skill set. Like I've said, these are the kind of colours that I like and I want together in the skein, but you run with it because that's what you do and I'll do what I do. So those are coming this year, and I'm so excited about them. One of them will be probably in the summer, and one's definitely not going to be until the autumn. So stay tuned for that. The last thing that I just wanted to hint at is I have recently started practicing my drawing skills, and I may or may not have some physical products coming to you at some point this year. It's not going to be anytime soon, we're not talking about in the next month, but at some point this year, Ponder and Ply may be going into the physical product stream. Obviously, great idea for me to do that when Brexit has happened, and when I go back to London there's going to be a shit ton of stupid taxes in Europe for me to calculate. Don't get me started on that. I'm not happy about it. I am not pro-Brexit. I will make that loud and clear. One thing that I wanted to do this year is be a lot more vocal about where I stand on things. I am not pro-Brexit. We shouldn't have left the European Union. It's going to fudge over. I'm not a sweary person. I don't know where that came from. I feel very passionately about this. Not that swearing is an issue. I'm not offended by it, but I don't generally swear. But anyway, not the point. Brexit is screwing over the small businesses. All of these, it's just one big MP wank. I can't deal with it. It's not a reality I want to have to deal with. I'm currently in Germany, and at the moment with my English passport, I can only stay until the end of March, and I can't work in Germany. So I'm applying for jobs at home. We'll see what happens. I am going to be applying for an Irish passport because my dad is Irish. That's why my family are all Irish. In theory, I am eligible, but given everything that's going on, I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get it. So everything's a little bit up in the air with that at the moment. I'm not going to go too much into politics, but that is where I stand. I am not pro. I very much think that we should be united, and in my ideal world we'll be united globally, but I know there's realism and idealism, and I won't go too much into it now. it's something that I want to do throughout this year. I will be talking out a lot more about a lot of issues. There may even be related knit-alongs to look forward to. Having this time off and not working, which I've never done before in my life. So since the age of 16, I've at least had a part-time job whilst I was studying, and then I went into full-time work, and I've worked really hard with not very much time off at all and no gaps between my jobs. Having this time off has given me a lot of space to think about what I want, where I want to go, what I want to do, and part of that piece is what I want to do with Ponder and Ply. So whilst I have the privilege of enjoying some time to myself without working, I really want to get things started. So let me know what you want to see from me. I'm going to try and podcast more regularly. I can't make any promises. I'm not going to make any promises. It's hard for me to just sit down and do it. Once I sat down, I can't stop talking. This will probably be ridiculously long and everyone will be bored and won't even make it this far. But I will try and check in every now and again, show you what I'm making. One other thing, how could I not talk about this already? I've started hosting knit nights. So once every Sunday at 9 p.m. European time, Central European time, that's 8 p.m. in the UK. I think that's like noon somewhere in the US. I've got all the details on my Instagram. Every second Sunday I am doing a knit night. Anyone can join. The sign-ups for February, there's one more left this month on the 21st of February. The link is in my bio. All you have to do is give me your email address and your name. And that's just so that I can send you the Zoom details. We're doing an hour and a half, 2-hour knit night, just to combat loneliness. I've been feeling pretty alone. I've missed that human interaction, especially from the knitting community, just talking to people, talking shit, not worrying about everything that's going on. So everybody is welcome. You just have to sign up. That your details don't go anywhere. I don't use it for anything. It's just so that I don't get trolls on the Zoom calls, although it might be amusing. But yeah, come join in if you want someone to chat. You don't even have to turn your camera on or talk. You can lurk in the background. I'm not upset about that. If you just want a little bit of company, please come and sign up. I'm going to try and keep them going. Yeah, okay, I think I've talked at you enough. I hope you are all well. I hope your families are well. I'm sending you loads of love. I hope you have a bit of knitting time, and make sure you're taking care of yourselves. And I'll check in again soon. Ciao!